This is our thesis film for San Diego State. We've spent 4 years learning everything we possibly can about film production, film theory, and we're ready to make our big movie. What makes this movie different than the other movies is that it takes the established protagonist and the established antagonist and turns it on its head.
It's not the typical character you'd appeal to. His name is Death, and he's doing his job.
It's a different concept. It involves death, which, you know, initially you would think that it's a dark film, but it's actually a bright comedy.
The story of Mistaken Identity is the story of the Grim Reaper who has come to this house, and he is given a piece of paper with a name and an address on it.
A dog, which can see death, comes up, tears the paper, and all that's left with is the letter J.
When he goes inside, he finds out very quickly that everyone's name in the house begins with a J.
On top of that, each of them have a near-death experience while Death is in the home.
In this movie, Death is not the enemy. Death is our main character, and the enemy is a tiny little dog and a really bad day.
This is definitely more of a dark comedy with sort of light-hearted tones to it.
I think what it makes the comedy international is that it's not a dialogue comedy, it's more about what happens in the comedy. It's visual.
I'm excited to make this movie because it started with a great script. Richard Cano has written great stuff. I've worked with him in the past on a ton of different movies, and I know that the script is solid. And that's always the best place to start.
I wrote this 4 years ago. It was one of the first scripts I ever wrote, but it was really well received by my professors.
This movie is going to be very bright. It's a story about death. It's a story about a soul being taken, but it's going to be told with almost a 60s, 70s, 50s mashup flair. I
personally found like a challenge on it because we want to give importance to the aesthetics and the look that the film will have.
There's a lot of color. There's a very plasticky kind of feel to the world, but all that contrasts Death's terrible day.
Our main expense is a dog trainer. We will need a dog on set.
The dog is definitely a huge part of this and is a huge character in this film, and we really want to perfect that.
People should invest in this movie because it's an opportunity for them to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves.
When you have like your name in the credits, knowing that you put something into this movie that helped it get to be where it ended up being, you're gonna take a bit of pride away from that.
When we get down the road a ways and we're making movies and we're doing bigger budget stuff, and you know, who knows, maybe some of us will be making movies in Hollywood or on the independent circuit, people are gonna look back and say, I knew them when.
This film, it's just different, and I feel like when people watch it, they're gonna want to be a part of it, and they're gonna be really excited about it and glad that they invested in this.
There's nothing better than being in a movie theater with all your best friends and just tons of people and a punchline hitting and just everybody cracking up. And I really think that's what this film is going to provide.
If I had to choose the way I would die, puppies. Death by puppies.
I guess I would kill myself because that's what famous people do.
I want to be shot out of a cannon.
Maybe in space and like getting attacked by aliens.
And I'm not gonna die like right when the cannon shoots.
Making a film and then like being in there as the stand-in and then just letting it all come at me.
What?
Thousands of puppies.
I get picked up by like a flock of seagulls. I just get like dropped into the ocean.
Dead.